So another seed grown plant are the lithops, the living stones, and there are a lot of them from the Namibian desert in southern Africa. And these guys are very solitary, not really any way you can grow them other than through seed. They call them living stones, and they mimic rocks in the desert where they're native to, and it keeps animals from grazing on them. They're very bizarre plants, become kind of collector obsessions. Very easily grown from seed. Have your own lithops and you can pollinate them, you can get seed out of them. Take a little paintbrush and cross them. If you want to try your own hybrid, you cross-pollinate them with the paintbrush. That's one way to do it. The seed pods on lithops are usually, they look kind of like almost like a eucalyptus nut a little bit. They're a little hard-shelled, but you can put them in a coffee grinder and usually get them out of there. But let them dry out first before you do that. There's supposed to be 1,000 in here. It doesn't look like it, but they're so tiny. And because they're so tiny, I like to put something in there to allow it to distribute a little bit better. So I'm going to take this gravel from roofing shingles. I usually just stick it in the jar. The mesem, so these guys belong to a family of plants called mesembryanthemums, or the mimicry plants they call them oftentimes. Generally grow in the warmer season, but there are other genera within that family which you want to do at different seasons of the year. It depends on where they're endemic to. If they're endemic to summer rainfall areas of southern Africa or to winter rains of southern Africa, that's when you want to either sow them in the spring or in the fall. Generally with lithops, summertime is a good time to do them. Seed is so tiny, you just want to surface sow them. And what I do with lithops, and some people don't do this, but I find that it prevents a lot of rotting off, is I'll actually take this same roofing shingle gravel, and I'll just sprinkle about maybe 1/8 of an inch layer on top of the soil. So with lithops, generally, you'll get germination in 5 to 7 days. But I'd probably give it another little bit of water on top of there, and you want to use a very fine mesh watering wand, something that will produce a nice gentle shower. Usually the 1,000-hole wands are great. And these fit into a freezer bag pretty nicely. And you can just seal it up and just store them. You can store them up on racks. You want to put them in some place that gets a lot of light. It doesn't want to be blazing hot, but you definitely want to have enough light. Greenhouse obviously is ideal. But if you don't have a greenhouse, you could probably germinate these on a windowsill just fine. It takes quite a while for the lithops to get to a mature stage where you can actually start taking them out and planting them. But pretty soon you'll see clusters of these little plants coming up. The purpose of the freezer bag is it holds in the moisture, and usually you don't have to water it again until they germinate. Once they germinate, you might want to check them periodically, maybe once a month, give it a little bit more water, a little bit more moisture, but that's about it, not too much. To get them to germinate is really quite easy. It's the point from germination to a mature stage is actually a little bit more difficult with these plants in my experience.